All right, everyone. Monday morning, my time. I'm on the West Coast, so 10 a.m. Hope you guys are well. I want to look at some lifetime highs, and there's something that's very, you need to talk about what's obvious because sometimes the obvious is the hardest to see. But let's talk about what a lifetime high is. A lifetime high is something that is the definition of strength. Right? Because what's going to make a black line go higher, right? What's going to make the price go higher? And I'll jump over to the price charts in a minute. I have a bunch that we're going to look at. But in order for a price to go higher, that means there must be demand. I mean, think about this. The price goes higher and more people want to buy it. And then the price goes higher again and more people want to buy it. And if there's going to be corrections in there. But when you have a symbol where it's going higher and more people want to buy it, that has to be a sign of strength. Compare that to a symbol that goes lower and more people want to sell it, right? That's the other type of symbol. And then the other type of symbol is it's all over the place. Higher, lower, higher, higher, lower, lower. Like it's confusing. It's kind of this bus that's confused going around town, doesn't know if it should lead out of town north or out of the town south. So when a symbol is going higher, that means people want to buy more of it, even though, or maybe because the price is going higher. So finding symbols that are going higher is super important. Now, let me start with this one right here. Vulcan Materials Company. Now, the way I got to this is, and one of the things I want to have you think about is you want to get a symbol that's in a sector that's going higher. You want to get a sector that's going higher. And I'm not going to get into relative strength right now, but generally speaking, if you want to find where the strong symbols are, they're going to be in the strong sectors. Okay, so here's Vulcan Materials here, $23 billion in size. So this is a 3.5-year price chart if you look at the screen here. And it's just a touch. Okay, it's actually not technically at new lifetime highs. It is, let's just see, it is 0.66%. So it's 0.66% away from going to new lifetime highs. I believe it's going to pop up to new lifetime highs. If we zoom super way back, here is a price chart of the same company going back 30 years. And you can see there, it broke to new lifetime highs in the second half of 2020. So it's out to new lifetime highs. So I like to see that. But what we have is Vulcan here that's just wanting to pop up to new lifetime highs. And if we zoom super, let me just get to Vulcan here. So here's Vulcan right here, and I've zoomed in. This is a 4-month price chart, and I'm using candlesticks on this. But can't you see right there, like this thing just wants to break above. Now every time it's gotten up to about the 174 price, you can see that at the beginning, right there at the beginning, which is at the end of March. Sellers have come in, they've sold off. Now, I understand what some of you may be thinking is like, wait a second, why are the sellers coming in? I thought the buyers, you want buyers, but this is normal behavior, right? This is normal behavior. And that's why before I got to this super zoomed in price chart, I started with a 3.5-year price chart right here, which, by the way, is kind of an ugly looking price chart. But it did break above its trade war highs. These are the trade war highs here that just kind of really decimated the rest of the world. Not the US, but the rest of the world. But if you look here, Vulcan Materials is above that trade war high. Going into 2020, it had broken to a new lifetime high here, couldn't sustain it, and then got absolutely taken out with COVID, but then got back up on its feet immediately. So this, if you look at the screen, this right here above the top blue line, right? So there's two blue lines, the top blue line, those are new lifetime highs. It hit new lifetime highs in October of last year, sold off, broke out a bit, again, touched back upon it. So this is what I'm looking at, broke and came back down. So here's its old lifetime highs at 150. So we know there's this movement, right? Came up to it, sold off, 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 and then broke up. And then look at that. I'm looking here My brain's looking right here. Okay, so finally the price of Vulcan got above 150. And now that ceiling became a floor. Pretty cool, huh? So that's the same thing that I believe is happening right here, and that's going to take off to the upside. So Vulcan looks beautiful. If you want to wait to get in, then I would say a close above 175. A close above 175 is a very clear point, line in the sand. And you could even do it on a 2-hour. That once this thing closes above 175, that is a good, that's really a price of strength right there. So that's Vulcan, 23 billion. Okay, so that was one thing I noticed. Now here's a fun story that's happening. Here's GM, that old school company, had to be bailed out by the Obama administration. This is a 3.5-year price chart right here. So this is its kind of new form, but it could not break above 42 bucks. 42 bucks is its lifetime high. And you can see at the end of 2020, it finally broke above the 42 bucks, broke above, and that ceiling became a resistance. So that's so powerful. And I'm just going to give a general number here. So GM this year is up 45%. 45%. Just let's do reference here. Oh, let's see what Tesla-ish is down 5%. So I think a big headlines for the end of 2021 is going to be GM up 100%, Tesla flat. Now, GM's got a lot of moving to do, but it came into the year, let's just look here. It came into the year 30, let's say 8, at about 65 billion. It'd be amazing if GM could start getting behind electric vehicles. And if it does, it could really do something here. So GM broke above 42, finally at the end of 20. And then in 21 is absolutely taking off. No one's really talking about GM. There's not much more to say about this. If we zoom way out on GM because it got restructured, we don't really see a lot of information right here. To me, even when we zoom in on GM, if you look at GM right here, it's just doing a great job. Here's the 42 bucks down here, guys, that it could not get above and finally broke above. And it's just been behaving beautifully. I mean, it is strong. It breaks above, it pulls back, it breaks above, it pulls back. Couldn't, quote unquote, couldn't get above the 57. So here's an important thing about making money in the markets. Are you an investor or are you a trader? And you can be both, but you have to have a different hat for each, right? You can't go into a symbol as an investor and then be like, oh, now I'm going to be a trader, because that's not going to work. And you have to be careful on when you're listening to someone, because I'm jumping between things. Like you could just go by GM right here. I'm jumping between investing and trading. You could just look at GM here and be like, it's a good investment. Okay. And same thing with Vulcan. It's a good investment, but you would look at it differently if you wanted to trade it, right? You might be looking for a shorter move. So be clear about what you're doing. And one of the things I train my clients to do is to have an investment portfolio and have a trading portfolio. So you can have two different hats on and you know which hat you're wearing when you're looking at symbols. Okay. This is a cool symbol here. GRBK. Look at this, GRBK. So there's a couple things I like about this. This is not a new lifetime high. That's, I think, an 11-year high. We can go to the super zoom back GRBK. So yeah, here we are right now. The last time GRBK was at, this is a small company, $1.3 billion. The last time it was at this was 2011. Now, it really had to break through some resistance just to get up here. But anything above 25 bucks on this stock, you've got to be long on it. And again, let me just start back with the 3.5 year. Had to really break above this. I'm calling that $25, okay? And it broke above it, came back down on top of the 25. More buyers came in. So let me just zoom in to GRBK here. GRBK. So in the zoomed in area, let's go to 25 range here. Now, that $25 range has held for 11 years. Couldn't break above 25 here at the end of 2020. Tried to, and $25 kind of turned it away right there. But here we are today, breaking above, came back down to test the $25. Buyers came in, bought more shares, and this symbol is above 25. This thing is above 25. You can be long and strong this again. Super zoomed out. Above 25, it probably wants to go to 60, somewhere between 60 and $80. So we're looking at, let's see, 125% return to a 200% return. That's pretty good. Now, if you want to talk about what you might have to risk, if it would break and close below $20, that would be your sign. So let's say on the downside, you're risking 25%. On the upside, you're making 125. So you're risking $1 to make $5. That's a great risk reward. What's nice about having history is you can see where the price wants to get to. Unlike with GM and Vulcan, they just want to go higher. And there's nothing wrong with that, right? You maybe want to have both types of symbols in your trading portfolio or both types of symbols in your investment portfolio. Okay, what else is going higher? So we're really looking for new lifetime highs. And I threw GRBK in there. I'm going to put an 11-year high close to a new lifetime high. Here's Ethereum right here. Ethereum is at new lifetime highs here. Its old high was in January of 2018. And look at this. It got up to the same price. Let's call it 1380 with Ethereum. Okay, at the beginning of 21, if you can see that. Had a hesitation, finally broke above, came back down to that 1380 range, found more buyers, and it's just been digesting. When you see a symbol that is going sideways or coiling or digesting a big move, but it's digesting it above old lifetime highs, that's super powerful. And look at it's doing it again. It's at, again, new lifetime highs. It's digesting those new lifetime highs above its old lifetime highs. So you have Ethereum just with incredible strength here. Now, I like that I'm bringing in something completely different than GRBK, which is a real estate company, $1.3 billion in size. GM was what, 90 billion? Vulcan was 23 billion. So I'm looking at all these different size stocks. Ethereum's maybe about 300 billion. This is my first non-equity I'm showing you. So the nice thing I think about trading is you're allowed to not care what you own even more, right? You're almost being mercenary. You want to just really think like, okay, I want to own something and I want it to be going higher. Do you really care that much about it? And I think with trading, you shouldn't care so much what it is. Okay, let's look at some other things. Here's JP Morgan here. This is the biggest company we're looking at, 475 billion. Look at that gorgeous consolidation right there. We're going to go look back in the Wayback Time Machine just by looking at a huge long-term chart. I believe that might be lifetime highs. But let's just look here with JP Morgan. JP Morgan here. Yeah, so look at that. Lifetime highs right there. Okay, this is at new lifetime highs. By the way, look at this. What a horrible stock to be in between 2000 to 2014. I mean, this was just, what a bunch of mess right in there. Okay. Now it's consolidating. Let's go back to this. It's consolidating at new lifetime highs. When it broke out, look at this when it broke out in 21. It broke out to new lifetime highs, right? My brain is over here. Okay, it broke out to new lifetime highs. Tested this price again. I mean, look at that. It came back down to that, 130 range. More buyers came in, and then it pushed it higher. Whether you're investing or whether you're trading, and again, they're two separate things. You don't want to necessarily confuse them in your portfolio. But look at this. It's consolidating at new lifetime highs. That's a sign of strength. Now, some people might go, I don't want to own a $500 billion portfolio, a $500 billion stock. Guys, this could go to $1 trillion. We have $2 trillion companies now. So this could be a great symbol that you don't necessarily have to worry about having gigantic, crazy corrections, because all things being equal, a $500 billion company like JP Morgan's really not going to have those crazy corrections. And then when you zoom into JP Morgan, let's just do that and look at it here. Like, look at that. It's beautiful. It broke above this 154 range, got sold off, came back down, had this, came back down. It's just building itself. And it's beautiful looking. That's a beautiful build right there. That is just saying, buy me. And if you were a trader, you could just say, I buy it here. And if I'm wrong, if it closes below here, on a 2-year price chart, 2-hour price chart, you could do that. And if you guys want, you can go into the live chat. I got it on my other screen here. If there's a symbol you're curious about, I can look at that for you too, if we have time. Let me just see what we got here on time. I have about 5 more minutes. So we've got some neat things going on here. Let's look at maybe one more financial. Here is Morgan Stanley. Let me actually start with my 3.5-year range here. Look at this Morgan Stanley here. Okay, let's just go back to the Wayback Machine. I think of price charts as, I think of them as treasure maps, but when you zoom way back, right, when you're able to look at 30 years of data, it tells you so much about the company. Like, this price chart looks so different than JP Morgan. Now, this is about 1/3 the size of JP Morgan, but just look at here how this price could not sustain itself above $57. Every time it got above $57, it got sold off. Every time. Now, I know it tried to pull away there, but it couldn't. And there we are above the 57. So we know 57 was an important price. Okay, so now let's go back to the last 3.5 years. 57 was a super important price. Once it broke above 57, it has just moved higher. Now for the year, just generally speaking, it's up about 16%, which is pretty good because that's up more than the S&P or the NASDAQ. So you have a symbol here that is strength. Again, you could invest in this or you could do it as a trading. As far as trading goes, I think Vulcan has the better trading portfolio. Certainly Ethereum has the better trading portfolio too. But we're looking just at symbols that have strength, right? Because all things being equal, one of the things I train my clients to do is to not buy turnaround stories. You want to buy stories that are already working. You want to buy symbols that are already going higher. You want to buy and buy higher and buy higher and buy higher and eventually sell higher. The buy low, sell high is a great idea from the 1980s, but anyone knows, especially over the last decade, you could just buy something low and then have to buy it lower and then have to buy it lower and then have to buy it lower. So all things being equal, you want to find symbols that are trading higher, that are moving higher, because that means, think about it. When the price goes higher, people want to buy it more. That makes sense. This is not a grocery store. This is not, if the price of eggs go higher, people will look for alternatives. But when the price of symbols go higher, people want to buy more of them. Here's Lam Research, $90 billion company here. Let me go to the super zoomed out area just really quickly here. And so look at that. That tells you a story. Definitely there's been some corrections in there, but it's really starting to accelerate. If you can just look at the price chart back to 91, 30 years of data, and you just see it accelerating. And even you don't even have to squint that much. You can see a consolidation right there. So now we can go to that consolidation. Actually, let me just go back to this. It's just really hard to see that consolidation because that's just end of 20, beginning of 2021 consolidation right there. So really that was just that consolidation right there, if you look at that. So COVID crash started here, finally broke above it, got above it, had some selling, found more strength. So once this thing broke above its pre-COVID high, it's just been stronger and stronger. And again, here you see it in 2021 right now, breaking out to new lifetime highs. Wouldn't be surprised if that 660 comes back to 600. If it does come back to 600, let's see, let's pull it up on here, LRCX. This could be something where it's like, hey, if this does come back to here and test this price, which is a high probable chance it will. And the neat thing about trading or investing, you don't have to buy Lamb Research. You can simply just set an alert and say, hey, if this comes back to 600 bucks, I am very interested in it. Now, if you don't want to wait and you buy at 650, then just expect that if you do buy this, without it changing from stripes to spots or anything like that, it would still be in an uptrend even if it fell back this 9 or 10%. It could even come back, into here. But with trading, you don't have to, you don't have to swing at this. You don't have to buy this. But what we do want to do is we want to find symbols that are stronger and stronger. If you don't want to buy individual companies, it's totally fine. You can find sectors. There's a lot of sectors that are doing well. Here's materials now. That for materials, that's a new lifetime high right there for materials. I'll just put it in right there. There's materials. So what I wanted to cover this week was just to show some new lifetime highs. And I'm using 3 time frames, a 3.5-year time frame, a 30-year time frame, and then a 4-month time frame. And so by using those different time frames, you can really get an idea of where the buyers and sellers are hiding. And it's one of the things that I often teach my students to do is to ask themselves, where are the buyers? Where are the sellers? Most of us are taught to ask the wrong questions. And I find that when you are trained to ask the right questions, the most powerful questions, the questions about price, your portfolio starts growing better. Hey guys, if you like this, you're going to love, I have this absolutely free training course. It's called Clarity and Control. And in my 23 years of training people, the 2 things I've heard over and over and over, number one is I want clarity. I don't have the clarity I want. I want clarity. Even before they say performance, even before they say anything, there's this lack of clarity they have with their investing or their training. So whether you want to become a better trader or a better investor, either one, you have to have a level of clarity. And so I put this course together, Clarity and Control. The second thing I've heard over the last 2+ decades is people just simply saying, how do I get control back? Right? This is one area of their life that they want control back, right? Whether you say it about your health or your relationships or your wealth, it's about kind of getting control back over your money. And most people have never been taught or trained on how to start to get the reins back, how to get the control back. So this absolutely free course called Clarity and Control, you can check it out in the description. It's literally going to, it's like a time machine because it's going to accelerate your learning and your understanding literally through 4 videos. And people watch the videos even if they've been investing for 10 or 20 years and like, oh my gosh, I never had that point of view before. So if you like these videos, you're going to love that free training, Clarity Control. You can check it out in the description. Thanks guys for being in my world. I appreciate you guys, and I will